The belts would still be on the line. And Inoue would still have the chance to remind the world why he's the man everyone's chasing. Then came the noise. From the moment the bout was made public, Kim Yun became the loudest voice in the room. "I'm much stronger than Goodman," he told reporters. "Inoue's never fought someone like me. He's in for big trouble." For someone stepping into the fire on 2 weeks' notice, it was a lot to say. But that's the thing about belief. It doesn't need facts. It just needs a microphone. And Kim Yun had one. Social media buzzed. Some fans laughed off the bravado. Others rolled their eyes. But a few, as always, clung to the drama. Boxing has always lived off the allure of the upset. It's what fuels ticket sales and pay-per-view buys. The belief, no matter how thin, that maybe this time it'll be different. And Kim Yun did everything to feed that belief. He doubled down on his confidence. He went viral with his taunts. He promised a knockout. He called Inoue overrated. He said the Japanese star had been protected. That he'd never faced real power. He painted himself not just as a challenger, but as a disruptor. A storm that would upend the hierarchy. Fight night came fast. The crowd, packed and buzzing, was ready. Not necessarily for a competitive fight, but for a performance. Inoue walked to the ring with his usual quiet intensity. No dancing. No waving. Just purpose. Just presence. Across from him, Kim Yun entered like he was starring in a music video, swaggering, smiling, soaking in the moment. He threw air punches, flashed his teeth, and bounced on his toes like a man who truly believed he belonged. And maybe, for a moment, he did. Then came the opening bell. Immediately, Kim Yun began to play to the crowd. He rolled his shoulders. He waved his glove. He pointed at Inoue. "Come on," he mouthed. "Let's see it." And when Inoue landed the first clean jab, Kim smirked and shook his head theatrically, as if to say, "That's all you got?" But while Kim was putting on a show, Inoue was writing a script. From the first round, the disparity was clear. Inoue's footwork was cleaner. His jab is sharper. His counters are immediate. Kim was not overwhelmed at first, but he was outmaneuvered. Every time he landed a punch, Inoue landed two. Every taunt was met with a textbook response. No wasted energy. No wasted movement. Inoue was already doing what he does best, dismantling with subtle brutality. Kim Yun kept up the act. In the second round, he dropped his hands, leaned back, and stuck out his tongue. He mimicked getting hurt, only to wave it off. He wanted the crowd to believe he was unshaken, that he was unfazed. But slowly, the tone changed. Inoue began to press forward with more intent. He targeted the body with slicing hooks. He varied his angles. He introduced a rhythm that Kim couldn't match. The smile on the Korean's face began to fade, not all at once, but in pieces. A missed taunt here. A delayed return to center. A deep breath between exchanges. The act was cracking. By the third round, Kim Yun's output had slowed. The punches were wider. The distance between reality and belief was narrowing. And in the eyes of Kim's corner, there was a growing concern. He was no longer controlling the narrative. He was surviving it. Then came the fourth. It began like the others. Kim still trying to draw Inoue in with feints, with gestures, with showmanship. But Inoue wasn't buying it. He stalked forward, chin tucked, eyes locked in. And then, as Kim Yun once again lowered his guard and invited the champion forward with a mock gesture of bravado, Inoue answered, right hand. Clean. Precise. Devastating. It wasn't just a punch, it was the truth. The kind that erases all the noise. Kim Yun's head snapped violently. His knees buckled before the rest of his body even realized what happened. And then he collapsed, arms limp, legs gone. The referee didn't even need a count. The silence in the arena was brief, broken only by the explosion of the crowd a moment later. It was over. Not just the fight, but the performance, the illusion, the bold declarations, the claims of invincibility, all reduced to a single unforgettable ending. Inoue, as always, didn't celebrate wildly. He didn't scream. He didn't dance. He simply turned, glanced at his corner, and nodded. Business complete. Kim Yun was helped to his stool. He blinked slowly, still piecing together the seconds he had lost. His corner patted his back. There was no shame. Only silence. And perhaps, finally, understanding. The post-fight interview was short. "I'm happy the fans got a show," Inoue said, offering no gloating, no resentment, just a calm satisfaction that once again he had done what he came to do. Kim Yun would later admit he misjudged the level. He thought he could survive longer. Maybe even find a shot of his own. He didn't expect it to end the way it did. But the truth is, very few do. That's the thing about fighting someone like Naoya Inoue. You don't get second chances. You don't get time to adjust. You either respect the storm or get swept away by it. For Inoue, this fight was a footnote. A detour. A necessary maintenance of activity. But for Kim Yun, it was something else entirely. It was a reminder that in this sport, words are cheap, and talent isn't measured by volume, but by silence. By what you do when the lights are hottest and the man across from you isn't playing pretend. And in the end, boxing always tells the truth. Naoya Inoue doesn't have to ask for respect. He earns it. Fight after fight. Round after round. In a sport filled with flash, he is substance. In a world obsessed with image, he is a consequence. And as long as fighters keep convincing themselves he's overrated, the monster will keep showing them just how wrong they are, one punch at a time. In the fight game, there's always that one guy. The one who talks big. The one who says, he's overrated. The one who claims, he's never fought someone like me. The one who promises, the moment he takes my punch, it's over. Boxing has seen thousands of them. They come with swagger, with confidence, sometimes with delusion, and they leave with silence. Because eventually, they run into someone who doesn't talk. Someone who just fights. Someone who ends all the talking with a single, definitive answer. Naoya Inoue has heard it all. He's heard the doubt. He's heard the disrespect. And he never responds. Not with insults. Not with antics. His answers are given in leather. In fractions of a second. In the spaces where noise dies and reality sets by now, anyone who follows boxing knows the name. Inoue is no longer just Japan's prized possession. He's a global presence. Undefeated. Undisputed. Unrelenting. A fighter whose punch is described less like a weapon and more like an event. One that happens to you before you even know you're in danger. As of early 2025, Inoue was 29 fights deep into a flawless professional career. 29 wins. 26 knockouts. 0 compromises. It's a record not just defined by wins but by domination. His opponents weren't just beaten, they were undone. Men like Nonito Donaire, who once took him the distance in a legendary battle, couldn't survive the rematch. Fighters like Stephen Fulton, once considered slick and untouchable, found themselves overwhelmed. Others, Luis Neri, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Omar Narvaez, Jamie McDonnell, and Carlos Payano, met fate so violent they never quite returned the same. And it's not just the names on his resume that make Inoue special, it's the way he removes them from the conversation. He breaks fighters apart methodically, without rage, without chaos. Like an architect demolishing a building with precise charges set to bring everything down at once. That's what makes Inoue terrifying. He doesn't rely on chance. He crafts inevitability. But as is often the case with greatness, familiarity breeds doubt. And with each win, there's always another voice saying, he hasn't faced a real test. Another fighter promising to expose the hype. Every era has them. The challengers who misread greatness as vulnerability. Who see confidence and think it's arrogance. Who mistake efficiency for fragility. And in January 2025, one of those voices rose again. The original plan was a serious one. Inoue was set to defend his super bantamweight belts against Sam Goodman, an undefeated, respected Australian who had earned his position the hard way. Fans were intrigued. Goodman was solid, skillful, and serious. But just 2 weeks before the scheduled bout, things fell apart. Goodman, due to a health complication, was forced to withdraw. It was a gut punch to the event. For a moment, there was concern the entire card might be scrapped. But boxing, like life, doesn't wait for perfection. And so, the search for a replacement began. That's when a name emerged, one that barely rang a bell. Kim Yun, a South Korean fighter with a modest record and minimal international buzz. Kim Yun wasn't on anyone's shortlist. He didn't have the accolades. He didn't have the big wins. But he had two things going for him. He was available, and he was brave, or perhaps, bold to the point of reckless. It didn't take long for the announcement to be made. Naoya Inoue would face Kim Yun on January 24th. The audience would still get their show.